welcome to my podcast, and I think you'll be able to tell from the surroundings that I'm actually here in Stepping Hills Operating Theatres. And I wanted to do it from here so that I could introduce two significant members of the Stockport NHS Foundation Trust team. Mr. Neil Oakley, one of our consultant neurologists, and a new member of the team, our own neurology robot. And I'm hoping that I'm able to ask Neil a number of questions about what it means for you as a surgeon, but also what it means for our patients.
This is absolutely the future of surgery. And this is what people think about when they think about the robot. They're instruments that are held by robotic arms. And these are the surgical instruments that traditionally we'd have held ourselves and used to operate on patients. But the robot isn't there to replace the surgeon. The robot is there to enhance what we can do. So this is only part of the solution. The other part, I'll take you over to the console, where as surgeons we will sit and perform operations for prostate cancer and for kidney cancer on our patients that come through for this robotic program. And here at Stepping Hill we've invested in what we call a dual console system. The idea is that a surgeon can sit and look into these consoles and have a 3D view of keyhole surgery inside a patient. Rather than have to hold the instruments and get fatigued and tired, we operate the robotic arms, as I showed you a second ago, via small handpieces. And that would allow us to control very, very fine movements on the inside, movements that traditionally would have left potential surgical tremor. That plus the expanded, magnified view allows fine operating, very delicate structures. The real advantage that I can see, and this is quite important for Stepping Hill because we're one of the few units in the country that have this dual console system, is that I can train other surgeons. And the only way I can describe it is like learning to drive with a dual console car. I sit in one, my trainee sits in another console. I can operate while they watch. I can pass control of the instruments to them, they can operate, and I can take control back at any time. So what we've found with the intuitive robot is that not only it allows better patient outcomes, it certainly reduces the number of operations that surgical trainees have to do to become not only competent but experts in their own right. And that really, for me, is where the huge advantage of this sort of system will pan out in the future.
I've now moved outside from the operating theatre to allow the next patient to go in and wanted to cover a couple of other items within this podcast. The first of those is regarding the Healthier Together review. And to let everybody know that the Committees in Common, which is made up of the 12 CCG accountable officers in Greater Manchester, met on the 17th of June and decided, having heard significant amounts of evidence, that they should favour 4 and not 5 specialist sites for undertaking complex and emergency general surgery and emergency medicine on the basis of a single service with other local hospitals that will be providing less complex work, but working absolutely in partnership with those specialist sites. You will have heard me talk before about the CQC Intelligent Monitoring Tool, which looks at 150 different indicators around quality of care to patients. And unfortunately, I have to say that we have dropped a banding from a 6 to a 5 as a result of 2 particular indicators where we didn't fare as well. One of those was around a never event, which we, because of its very title, are doing everything possible to ensure is not repeated. And the other is regarding our referral to treatment target of 18 weeks, where we proactively chose to treat more patients who were waiting over 18 weeks and as a result failed the target. Our regulator monitor placed us under some conditions against our licence to provide healthcare. And one of those was around failure to achieve the 95% accident and emergency target. And because of that, there were then questions about our leadership as a board and through the organisation to do with governance. We then undertook a governance review using external experts, and that has now been completed. As a result of this, I am very pleased to say that Monitor have lifted the sanction against us for governance, and that's a real positive in terms of our leadership and our governance arrangements. And finally, as a foundation trust, we have something called a Council of Governors, made up, believe it or not, of governors who are largely members of the public. And they are there representing the views of their constituents, our members, in terms of how this organisation is taken forward and ensuring that we optimally cover patient issues. They work as governors hand in glove with our board of directors to ensure that we provide not only today but in the future the very best of services, looking at our strategy and ensuring that's in an appropriate direction. We've got 5 governor elections coming up, and if you are interested as a member of the public in being involved and becoming a governor, then there are opportunities for you to hear a bit more about that. And Paul Buckingham, our company secretary, is arranging some sessions to allow you to hear a bit more about what it means. I really do encourage you that if you are interested in this organisation, in patient care in this locality, you join us for that Star Trek journey. Thank you.